Welcome back, you bunch of grease monkey maniacs. Previously, on the 4.0 liter single overhead cam V6, we pulled the exhaust manifolds, oil pressure sender, dipstick, oil filter housing, transmission locating pins, water pump pulley, water pump, flex plate, lift plate, and heads. Apologies for the dirty lens, but it does get better, I promise. Okay guys, before we get too deep into the video, I want to remind everyone that I am going to be doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So don't forget to smash that sub button and ring the bell. Now I wasn't sure exactly how these straps were going to work out, but it ended up working really well. The only real problem was that the motor stand and the cherry picker legs were the same height. In hindsight, I should have probably extended the boom out another foot or so, or at least maybe to its maximum, in order to be able to get the motor to swing out far enough to clear the legs. Again, the straps worked really well, enabling me to position the motor in a way that made it easy to slip it into the yoke of the motor stand. All right, I've never had one of these apart. I think I've mentioned that once before, but in case you've missed it, I have never had one of these motors apart. But if I had to guess, this has something to do with a timing set. You see, yeah, you can see this. You see where the slot is. But let's see. It's not big enough to get your socket in there. You either have to have a socket with a long bit, or this is just a nut, a driver with a little shorty on it. That is Harbor Freight. A buddy of mine gave me this for Christmas one year. This is that little inexpensive little tool set that you get from Harbor Freight. Really comes in handy. Not a sponsor of this video. Now, I don't know what happened to the first part of this video, but I did take out number 6 rod and piston out first. Now I will throw in a couple of pictures of the bent rod so that you know what it looked like. Now all the rest of the rods and pistons came out smoothly. The rod bearings all looked really well. The crankshaft spun and spins very, very freely. Now I will not be pulling the crankshaft out in this video. I will be pulling it out, but it won't be until after I do all my measurements to see whether or not it's going to have to go to the machine shop to get any machine work done. Feels nice and smooth. But really, it's not bad at all. I don't know if I can get how close I can get it. Get you in there to see that. There we go. Well, stop drifting. All right, it's time to take the harmonic balancer slash front pulley off, and I'm going to try to do it with my cobalt impact. Now if it doesn't do it, if it doesn't pop it off, that bolt, that I'm not going to blame the tool. This this particular impact has seen some really hard times in it, and it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't. Now that impact has knocked off some really big bolts in its lifetime. Alright, anyway, we got that off. Now the next thing is to extract that pulley. And I'm going to put a conical shape tip on it. I'm kind of taking my time doing this, so I've done this a few times, and I've actually broken a snout on a crankshaft one time. I swedged the end of it one time. check it, make sure. Okay. Oh, you know what? Holy shit, I didn't even think about it. But I am pushing up against the wrong... well, damn, man, I feel so stupid. I'm pushing up against the wrong surface. Let me see what I can do, and I'll be right back. All right, let me see if I can explain this to you. It shoulders up against the pulley somewhere about right here. Then the thread doesn't start till like somewhere in here on the other side of this. And what I was doing is I was actually just pushing up against the pulley itself. And that's why I wasn't moving. But the only thing I have to remedy that is too short. And that's this pin right here. And this goes onto the end of the pulley in place of this cone, like so. But that's not long enough. It will not hit where I need to push against. So what I'm going to do, these are some old lug nuts off of a Mercedes-Benz I had, and they're identical. The thread portion is. And it's going to be long enough. However, I'm going to have to do something about that right there. I'm going to have to grind that down so that it'll pass through that shoulder. That's, in theory, it should work. So let me get that done, and then I'll get back to you. I think you can see that. See, this is the shoulder I was pushing against earlier, and this is part of the pulley, which was part of the problem. Now I have this bolt into the crankshaft. I'm going to push against it rather than, see if I can get you better. There we go, better light. Okay, I'm going to push against the bolt that I just cut, and not the pulley. All right, can you see that grow now? Let's see if I can get you in tighter and move it over. I think you can see it's quite obvious at this point. Stop moving. There we go. See how that's coming out? I'm gonna bring you back out so that you can see how effortlessly this is working.
There it is. Okay, and there's my bolt right there. In fact, I'll let you see what I was doing, what I was pushing against. Right there. Ta-da! That's all I needed to do. Learn from my mistakes. That sure came off nice and easy once I had the proper tooling. Okay, and we're back. Now it's time to pull that front cover off. And we'll start off by taking the bigger bolts off. Like everything else, I believe that's going to be a deep socket 13. The rest of these little ones are 10 millimeter, or should be anyway. Well, let's see, we got some broken parts here. Looks like about it. Looks like about 8 millimeter there. 10 millimeter here, maybe, yeah. I can intimidate it. That's all I needed, a little intimidation. I'll have to clean them up and see. All right, that's off. Again, looking at the teeth for wear. Voila. Doesn't take much most of the time. And see, that tab right there is what keeps it on. It fits in a groove right there, and then it butts up against the woodruff tree. Necklace, anyone? Oh, 8 millimeter. What am I thinking?
Well, up to this point, everything is pretty standard. Now I will say in the CD manual, all it says is remove oil pump bolt and retainer, and then remove oil pump drive. Okay. It took me a little bit of time to get this out, and I did mangle the top just a tad. But with a file, I cleaned it up, and I do believe it'll be okay.
Well, what I initially thought were freeze plugs are not freeze plugs. Bring you around here so you can take a look. These actually open up to the oil galley where the jack shaft is. Zoom back out here. Oops, wrong way. Okay. So this hole goes to the oil galley. This hole goes to the oil galley. This is, of course, for the pump drive, the oil pump drive. But they all go into the oil galley. Not freeze plugs. The water jackets for this motor are not dirty at all. They are very clean. I am not going to have this hot tanked at all. This is totally clean. I don't know if you can see inside of there. What if I do that? Let me zoom in. There we go. Now you can see how clean that is. That actually looks like brand new steel.
Well guys, I believe we're going to call it for this video. The next video will be the measurement of the cylinder walls, the main journals, measuring and balancing of the pistons and the rods, and looking at all the things we need to order to get this thing put back together. All right, you bunch of grease monkeys, I want you to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of mechanic porn, and we'll see you in the next video.